Donuts. Welcome to the Dolls and Donuts podcast, episode 54. In today's episode, we'll cover what's going on in the animal rights community and what's been happening in Robin's quarantine dollhouse. So you may have noticed already that this sounds different than our other podcast episodes. And you probably know why. I don't have to tell you what COVID-19 is or anything like that. So our last episode that we recorded it right before, like, all the stay-at-home orders started and, like, right before all that stuff actually started kicking off. So we had recorded the last one together, and now, who knows how long, we'll be recording them like we do our interviews over Skype. So that's why it's going to sound a bit different. We're not using our fancy microphone or anything this time, since we're a couple cities away from each other. So, so that's basically what we're doing, hanging out at home and trying to make it work. How are you doing over there, Robin?
I'm good. I realized when you're saying that I definitely told some lies on our last podcast, thinking that I had things coming up, like pop-ups and stuff, that did not end up happening. I was very optimistic at that time. It was only like a week before the shelter-in-place order, I think, that we recorded. And it's so funny how everything has changed since then. So obviously whatever we said about upcoming pop-ups were all canceled.
Yeah, I think I noted that in the show notes.
Oh, good.
Because,
yes.
And it's not a lie. Lies are intentional. If you say, like, I'm going to do this and something, obviously something out of your control happens or whatever, that's not a lie. So you can sleep well. You can sleep okay at night.
Oh, good. If that could actually work and you can just tell me, Robin, please sleep well at night, that would be great, because I've been waking up a gazillion times a night and I don't know why.
That's no good. I'm one of those people that needs good sleep or I don't function. Some people are like, I slept 2 hours yesterday. You want to go do yoga Pilates? No. Like, I need, like, my 8 hours. Like, some people, I sympathize with you.
Did you just say, do you want to go do yoga Pilates?
Yes, Matt and I have been rewatching the OC, so that's where it's come from.
Oh, that's funny. So it's like yoga and Pilates mixed together.
And it's like a running joke in the show, so that's why I bring up with that.
That's good. I haven't seen it. I don't remember that. I've never heard that term. What is it?
You've never seen the OC?
I don't think I have. It doesn't sound familiar.
Okay, it was super popular in the early 2000s. That's when it actually was on. And it was like the biggest show on TV, and it was like, huge deal. I watched it when it actually, so like in high school, it was on, and I watched it. And now, of course, it's been a long time. I've forgotten enough where it's interesting to watch again. So Matt and I are rewatching that right now.
Okay. I didn't have a TV or anything at that time. I don't even think I had a sofa during the early 2000s. Because I was just like so busy that I was like, I think it's weird that people have time to watch TV. How do they do it?
I didn't even have anything to watch sit on to watch the TV. Yeah, then okay, you're excused.
But I'm catching up on TV life now. I've been watching so much stuff, so maybe that'll be next on my list.
Yeah, give it a try, because it was a phenomenon when it was on. It was like the biggest show ever. There's a character called Seth Cohen who is what we would call like a nerd, whatever. He's into comic books. He would listen to like whatever. Like now it's cool, but it's he listened to Death Cab at the time and Rooney and all these bands or whatever. And that was the kind of stuff he was into, like action figures and stuff. And there was like an article I read. It was like saying that his characters, because this was like early 2000s, normalized nerd culture. Like right now, like it's so popular and it's all like so accepted and it's preferred almost. You know what I mean? Like, and they say like his character played a big part in that. I think looking back, so it's just interesting. It's just a good show, So,
what do you watch it on?
We just bought it on iTunes. It wasn't streaming anywhere, so we just bought it on iTunes. Yeah.
Okay.
But other than that, I haven't been watching more TV than normal. Our TV pretty much stays off all day until Matt's done with work and we get dinner done and everything, and then we sit down and watch episodes until we go to bed. But I've mostly been reading and working out, so I guess I'm spending my time wisely.
Yeah, you've always watched a pretty good amount of TV regularly, though, right?
Yeah, only at night. But I don't. Yeah, I don't like. I know obviously now because I'm like home a lot more. Like I'm not spending all day watching TV. Like some people are just like binging all day. I'm only watching stuff at night, which is normal. So same amount of TV as always for me. But
Yeah. So I used to only watch TV when I'm folding laundry, which is like, an hour or two every week. I mean, it wasn't that much. So now that I am like always home and never going anywhere. Okay. So have you ever seen the show Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
No, but I've heard of it.
Okay, so that's what we've been watching, and we watched it like it has more seasons than probably anything I've ever seen besides like maybe Seinfeld or something. There's so many seasons. So it must have came out a really long time ago and I just didn't know it existed. And so we had watched it, but I guess a new season recently came out. So I've been watching more than my fair share of laundry folding TV lately. But also work has been more busy than usual. And so I feel like I'm also working more now.
Yeah. Who knows? Everything's all crazy, so nothing's what you expect it to be sometimes, I guess.
I know. I know. Have you been going to like a local restaurant still and getting takeout, or are you mostly cooking at home?
I'm keep like same amount as when everything was normal.
Oh,
Friday,
really?
Friday,
Okay.
Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're still eating out a lot.
Yeah, we veggie grill on Fridays, and then we always eat out on dinner, like out on Saturdays and Sundays, and we're keeping that the same.
Okay. Cool. Are you still driving far to get food, or are you just getting it locally?
We did go to Cybel's one day and ate in the car.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
Did you get pizza?
no, I got the mac and cheese calzone.
Ooh, how was that?
Very good.
Okay, I've had the mac and cheese pizza. Their mac and cheese is good.
Yeah, we've had that before at a different time we went. And then I also got they've been toting those new the stuffed garlic knots. We got those too. Those were good.
What are they stuffed with?
It's vegan cheese that I can't remember like the brand or anything.
Oh, that's okay. That does sound good. I do like a good garlic knot.
Yeah, so we just ate that in the car and then drove home.
Yeah. So you just drove up for that only and then came back?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what are you gonna do? But yeah, so that's kind of all that being said. This is kind of gonna be a little bit of a different episode because we're gonna be talking about maybe some resources. I think that you won't be too helpful if you don't live in the Bay Area, but if you do, we're just kind of gonna like give it out there, like who's still serving food, who's not, who's delivering food, and stuff like that. So maybe it'll help somebody that's doesn't know really what's happening with all these companies and that we know and love. So yeah, so it's gonna be a little bit of a different take, I think, today.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that we were providing something that would be useful. So I did put together a pretty good list of stuff for nationwide people. So yeah, we can go over that later too.
Okay, good. Because I just added in like around here, so that's good. So we had that, got it, both of our bases covered.
Yeah. But we're still going to do our normal segments. So is it time for Ask Ashley?
That's me.
Tell us what's going on with the animals.
Okay, so 2 of these stories are related to our current cray-cray situation, and one of them's not. But yeah, so the first one is from LA Times, and the headline is SeaWorld will pay $65 million to settle investors for the Blackfish lawsuit. So what happened was the investors of SeaWorld sued SeaWorld, claiming that they violated, I can't remember what it was. Let's see, I'm looking at the thing here. They were deceived. There's a name for this, but I can't remember. But basically, they had deceived investors, claiming that the documentary was having no financial, impact on park attendance or anything like that. Obviously, we know that was not the case. It took a huge chunk out of SeaWorld's business, rightfully so. Can't believe that place is still open. But they were suing them, and so SeaWorld now has settled with the investors for $65 million. So SeaWorld has to pay out of pocket $65 million to their investors, the ones that were involved in the lawsuit, because, they were dishonest and they lied about it. So that's good for, it's good that SeaWorld's going to have to pay that. And, I mean, hopefully they just go under at some point. But, yeah. And this was before coronavirus really took off big time. So, obviously they're closed right now. I think the only people in there are, like, the ones that are caring for the animals. So, I mean, this made a bad situation for SeaWorld much worse. Obviously, nobody's going there now. So yeah. So SeaWorld's another hit. So hopefully it'll just be a few of the last ones. I'm hoping.
Yeah, it's like we want to keep kicking them when they're down, but they're just not staying down. What is that called? We need a TKO.
Yeah. Yeah, they're hanging. I mean, they're not. I say like they're hanging in there, like they're doing okay. No, they're not. They're like hemorrhaging, and they still are, and they've been hemorrhaging. It's like trying to like bail the Titanic out by like having a cup and like pouring the water over the side. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's, you know, that's not going to do anything with the long term. Which I do think their death is inevitable, but when it comes and how long they'll bleed out, I don't know. But all right, so the next story, these two kind of, you know, are repercussions, positive ones for the animals, considering the situation we're in. Because coronavirus happened because someone ate an animal. Boo! You know, people don't like to talk about that, but that's what happened. So, the next story is from vegnews.com. Actually, the next two, both of these are from vegnews.com. But this first one is New York City dog and cat shelters empty as people foster while staying at home. And I saw this other places too. This is obviously talking about New York City specifically, but it's great news because obviously people aren't, they can't come into the shelters and look for dogs to adopt, and like, you know, like they can't move those animals out through adoption right now because it's just, obviously they can't be going to places like that. So it was really good to see this, that shelters all over are emptying out through like the foster program, because, you know, a lot of people like love the idea of fostering and they're open to the idea of fostering, but they can't do it because they're not at home enough to foster a dog that's coming into a strange environment, you know, probably has, you know, a past that they need to be, you know, watched and like get comfortable and all that stuff. So there's a lot of, you know, that's a big factor, like how much time do you have to be home when you are fostering a dog, like, you know, especially at first. So, you know, this, you know, gave people an opportunity, if they were interested in fostering, to do so. So it was like a you know, a win-win. These animals are getting taken care of, you know, and so the shelters, if dogs are getting surrendered or dropped off, they still can put them in the shelters, so there's room. Because like I said, dogs aren't getting adopted. Hopefully all these foster dogs get adopted by their foster families. That'd be great. But it kind of took some of the strain off of the shelters because people are stepping up and were able to foster since they were home. So that was great news.
That is, and I actually kind of had a hunch that was happening because we applied to be a foster parent through, I think it was Copper Stream, and they kind of said the same thing. They gave us feedback. We know we have a lot of people right now, so I was like, good, that's awesome.
Yeah, and when did you ever think you would hear that? There was like, oh, please foster, please foster, please foster, and that's a great problem to have. They're like, whoa, get in line, we have too many people.
It's so great. I never thought I would, actually. It's always the opposite. It's always tons of accounts making me want to unfollow them because it's so sad how many dogs need homes.
Yeah, so that was great news. So I was very happy about that. So the last story here is, like I said, also from vegnews.com, and it says that the second city in China bans eating dogs, cats, and wild animals. Obviously, like I said, this comes from, like, on the heels of knowing that the coronavirus came from a person eating an animal at a wet market in China. So some of these are starting to, like, pop up more, that certain cities or areas in China are starting to ban stuff like this. So Shenzhen was the first city to ban it in early April. So dogs, cats, and wild animals, that is, sale and consumption. And I'm assuming sale for consumption, not sale. You know, you could sell a dog to somebody, you know, you can do that here, but not for consumption. So, and then the second city was Zhuhai, Zhuhai. I'm not going to pronounce things, but there you are. They're the second city that is going to ban that. So this was able to happen because in China, dogs were classified as livestock, but now they will be classified as companion animals. So that kind of changes their classification and like where this all, I mean, we see that here, right? A pig has like different rights than a dog because of their kind of a classification. One's a companion animal, one's, livestock or food. So we're starting to see that separation a little bit more in China now. So, and it kind of just gives us a little information, and it's a short article. It's more like a blurb, but it does say, like, talking about the dog meat trade in China, which is approximately 10 million dogs are killed every year for food in China. So if this spreads, that'll be a big deal, because we know we've heard about I can't remember the city now, but it has that big dog meat festival every year, and there's always a bunch of outcry about it every year, rightfully so. Yeah, so hopefully this starts spreading, no pun intended, about, the coronavirus. and this kind of rolls through, and again, we see the dogs and cats. We're like, oh, good, dogs and cats. But the wild animals part of this is also very important to note, because the coronavirus didn't spread through dogs or cats. It was a wild animal. I think they think it was probably a bat. So some of these wild animals, from a safety perspective, is also going to be a big deal for bringing those into ban eating them for consumption. So.
And so when you say they're banning the sale and eating, does it mean that they're not serving it in restaurants in those cities? They're not serving it, they're not selling it at grocery stores, like just not at all?
Yeah, that's a ban on consumption of, it says wild, it doesn't say what wild animals exactly, but cats, dogs, and wild animals in those two cities. And hopefully, like we said, that's, as we find more about, the origins of coronavirus and, so that's good. That's going to hopefully start spreading. So, and I keep saying words that make me cringe, like spreading.
We know you mean it in a good way.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way.
Okay. So we'll talk about the quarantine. Yes, dinner at the dollhouse quarantine edition. So, did you want to go first, Robin, with your stuff in here?
Sure. Well, I'll start with talking about what I've been making, and then maybe you can talk about some of the places where people in the Bay Area can be still getting food if they're not into cooking every single night. Because to be honest, I would have classified myself as the type of person who loves cooking at any possible moment. Like, I'm spending all my time when I'm not blogging and I'm not working and I'm not folding laundry and binging the 99 show, I spend all my time cooking. I love cooking. Usually it brings me joy. But I'll be honest, after 40 straight days, we're up to 42 today, of cooking, I would like a break, actually. I'm not into doing it every single moment of my life. And so for the people who aren't exactly like I am, and people who don't actually enjoy cooking as much as I do, they'll probably really benefit from some of the places that you've been eating out and knowing that they can still get takeout. But since I have been cooking, some of the things I've been making are very what I would consider quarantine type foods. And I think you know what the first one is because we talked about it on Instagram. So everyone who listens to this podcast probably knows that Ashley has an obsession with a certain breakfast food. Oh shit, you have two. You do. So, well, everyone knows that obviously pancakes are your favorite breakfast food. But what is the food, everyone, that Ashley eats the most often for breakfast on the day-to-day?
Oatmeal.
Yay! So I, of course, am not a fan of oatmeal. But when we're in these situations where we haven't been grocery shopping in 3 weeks, that's kind of an easy thing to make. Oats stay good forever. I talked about this, how I bought this bag of oats legit a year ago, like maybe even longer. They just stay good forever. They've just been in a jar in my garage waiting for this COVID shit to happen. And now look, they're being used. So there's an Instant Pot recipe. Do you have an Instant Pot, Ashley?
No.
But yeah, so steel cut oats, I've watched people make these like on camping trips and but just like in general hanging out at other people's houses because I'm not an oats person. And steel cut oats seem like they take way longer than rolled oats to make. Like I've seen people stirring this stuff for like up to 45 minutes making this. And I'm like, no one wants to dedicate that much of their life to oatmeal. So I'm glad that Instant Pots are a thing. So I was able to make them, and I put instructions for doing it 2 ways. One way where you like start it the night before and it's ready when you wake up. And the second way is just starting it when you wake up and then it's ready like a half hour later. So tell me about your current oatmeal routine, please.
Okay, so I get like plain oatmeal. This is what we're talking about, plain, original, whatever. And I usually get the packets, and then I just put hot boiling water in it, and then I just let it sit, and it makes it all nice. But if I'm getting the not packed, if I'm getting I get the rolled oats, and I just put that in with water in the microwave for I don't know, like 2 minutes or something, and I mix it up, and that's good too. I don't spend a lot of time making my oatmeal. It's just water, heating it up, getting them cooked, and then I'm adding all my good stuff. So I always start with that plain base because while the flavored oatmeals are delicious, they are awful, like sugar wise. They're just like nuts, so I don't even go there. But I usually always put in almond butter and then fruit. I used to always put chocolate chips in too, but I tried to cut down on how much chocolate I was eating. So I always put almond butter, creamy almond butter, and usually strawberries, banana, or raspberries.
So you're only spending about 5 to 10 minutes making your oatmeal every day.
Yeah, yeah, without like waiting for the water to boil, like that takes the longest thing.
And do you think that that's part of why you like it so much, just because it's so fast?
No, I like it. I mean, that's obviously a plus, but I like it because it's sweet. I'm a totally sweet breakfast person. It's relatively it's on the sweet side, but it's healthy and it keeps you full for a long time. Those are like my things I love about it.
Yeah, the keeping full for a long time is the one thing that I'm definitely missing from my eating fruit for breakfast. Okay, cool. So yeah, so one of my recipes is steel cut oats in the Instant Pot. The second one, which I also consider very much a quarantine recipe, is coffee creamer because normally when I'm going to the store whenever I want, I just buy my coffee creamer. Yes, it's a waste of plastic. I get that. It's a packaging nightmare because I really drink a lot of coffee creamer. Like I think we go through probably a gallon a month. I mean, it's a little bit insane. It's a lot of coffee creamer. We're keeping the coffee creamer industry in business for sure. So yeah, after a little while of not going to the store, making your own coffee creamer it's either that or nothing. And after going to Spain anyway, I already had a recipe that I use because I have to make my coffee creamer there. I don't know why they have so much good vegan food there, but for some reason creamer is not maybe creamer is just not as popular there and that's why they don't have vegan creamer. I don't know. Have you been to Spain?
No, I haven't been there yet. No, and I don't drink coffee, so I wouldn't even. I could have went and been like, I don't know. I didn't ask about the coffee because I don't know.
Yeah, and Matt drinks lattes, right? So he probably wouldn't notice if there wasn't creamer anyway.
No, he drinks it like black at home, add almond milk sometimes and stuff, and like makes iced coffee with almond milk or whatever, or lattes when we're out. So he doesn't really use creamer.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So that one I posted and I shared it on Instagram for Earth Day since Earth Day was our yesterday. And then the third recipe that I put up, which was actually the first time I've ever made this in my entire life, and it was a huge success, which does not happen. I'm sure if you look at my blog, you probably think I'm just a natural, perfect cook, but oh my goodness, you don't know how many fails I have sometimes. Like vegan yogurt, I probably made that shit like 12 times before I got it right. Anyway, this one was not like that. It was a success the first time, and it was tortillas, flour tortillas. Have you ever made those before? Well, it was nice because I was craving them, and they're so easy to make. Shockingly, it's it's not it's like way easier than making pizza dough or a lot of other like bread products. It's just kind of like mixing 3 ingredients and then rolling it with a rolling pin and then frying it in your frying pan for a few seconds. It's kind of easy. And they came out really cute because I put superfoods in them. So they were like healthier and they were cute colors. I really liked them and the internet loved them. I think it was my most popular tweet to date and my most popular Instagram post to date.
Good. I don't know if I saw them. I'll have to look it up.
You need to check it out. People are really loving it. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but definitely very popular. I can never guess. I can't predict what the world is going to like. I could spend like a week making a cake and hardly anybody likes the picture. And then I just spend an hour making tortillas and the world just goes crazy. I don't get it.
Well, I just gave you another like because didn't see it. So it's cute. Yeah.
Thanks. So that's all I've been making in my kitchen that I've been able to put on the website. I've actually been making a lot of stuff. I just don't feel like blogging as much right now. I feel like experimenting in the kitchen. I've been doing a lot of rainbow food since my rainbow tortillas. I made some rainbow bread and I'm baking a lot of bread. I think I'm probably gaining a lot of weight. Maybe you should tell me more about this yoga lattes. The ice cream man is outside my house right now, and I'm thinking, is that okay for people to just like walk on out there and have themselves an ice cream? I don't think that's what they're supposed to do, is it?
I mean, no, not unless no. They have to go up to the guy and everything. No.
Yeah, you can't just hand it like even if both persons' arms are completely outstretched. That's not the minimum 6 feet, is it? I don't know. Seems like a bad idea.
Okay, so I'm just kind of like I said, like I'm still kind of keeping my normal food routine. Like I'm cooking Monday through Thursday, and then dinner Friday, and then once out Saturday, and then once out Sunday. Because I usually eat a big meal. I usually eat breakfast on the weekends, and then I eat a bigger meal. I only eat one like large meal in like the afternoon. So that stayed the same. So basically, I still get my veggie grill on every Friday. We just go and pick it up. I figure that's better than having another delivery person because it's one less person touching everything. So we go down to Veggie Grill. Obviously, Veggie Grill has multiple locations all over California and other states too. So mostly the West Coast, but I think they're New York or something or Chicago or they're going everywhere. So Veggie Grill. I think I did see an Instagram comment that's not every single one of them are open. So if you have a local veggie grill and you haven't been going, double check because I think some of them did close up. But most of them that I've seen are still open and doing obviously takeout only. So that's a great option. Always good old reliable veggie grill. And like I said, that's multiple locations for that. So let's mosey on down to San Jose. And Happy Hooligans is still doing their takeout, and I love their Reuben. That's like my favorite thing they have, and I've been getting that a lot. And I wanted to get their breakfast plate because I was really hankering for pancakes. I'm like, oh, we don't do that anymore. And I was like, oh my god, I was sad, but I got the business. I was like, okay, give me the Reuben, and it was delicious. But yeah, they're doing takeout, and they basically you go into the door and they just have a table up like right by the door with the food on it, like with the like your bags on it for each person, and you just sign your thing, your receipt, because they take everything over the phone, and then you take your food, so you don't even go up to the counter. You're like right by the door. So they've really like kind of a good system set up there. And then
so yeah, I was wondering if Veggie Girl has done anything like that for their setup.
So I think it's the same. Basically, you go, they have like that shelving unit that they've always had for pickups, and I think that's just where they're putting everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think your Veggie Grill is maybe different than mine, although I haven't been to mine since all this went down. But the Happy Hooligans experience I had was not great because the food wasn't ready when I got there, and there were like 5 groups of people standing around outside kind of blocking the door, so you couldn't even like get through to see if your food was on the table without like walking close to other people. It was weird. Have you had that experience when you've gone there?
No, when was this?
Let's see. It was last weekend.
Okay, so okay. I was like, well, maybe that was in the beginning when people were still figuring shit out. But no, No, we haven't gone. I think we went the weekend before last. I think last week we didn't go. We've been going pretty regularly because, some of the places that we like aren't doing takeout right now. They've just closed the doors for temporarily. So that kind of like, there's only so many open in the area right now. So we have been going to Happy Hooligans pretty regularly. And no, we've seen people waiting in their car. And then waiting for somebody to come out before they go in. So we've been lucky that we haven't had any issues like that at all.
Good. That's good. Then maybe mine was a kind of a freak situation. It definitely felt weird. And I ended up calling them from the car and asking if they could just call me when my order was ready so that I didn't have to like keep checking. And they ended up doing that. So that worked out.
And then we'll stay in San Jose and we'll go over to Bossman's Pizza, which is not an all vegan place, but they have so many vegan options and wings and cheesy bread and pizzas and all kinds of good stuff for vegans. And they've also been delivering a lot of pizzas to hospitals. Like, it's on their Instagram. Like, so they are doing a lot of good stuff. And the family that owns it is really, really nice. So we've been going there and getting the vegan garlic chicken pizza and the cheesy bread with marinara, and yum. It's so good. So we've been going there more often than normal to get their pizza. And like they said, they've been doing getting a lot of food to the hospitals and stuff. So they're really doing a good job over there.
And what is their pickup situation?
I think, so when you walk in, have you been to their physical location before?
I have not.
Okay. So when you just normally, when you walk through the door, it's like the counter's right in front and then all the seating's to the right. So you couldn't get really any closer to the door. So you just go in and it's just normal. You just obviously don't go to the right. There's no seating, obviously. So it's just right inside the door anyway.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then over to Sunnyvale, Merit Vegetarian, which is the cuisine? It's Asian cuisine. I'm not sure exactly which.
Yeah, I don't know either, actually.
I don't want to say Chinese food because I know there's differences, obviously, from different country. But we'll just say it's Asian food. It's delicious.
Yeah, I feel like it has some crossover. I wouldn't even say necessarily that it's one country food.
Okay. So it's just a mix of different Asian cuisines, but it's very good. And they're still doing takeout. We actually haven't gotten takeout there for a while, but I know Kimmy is getting takeout from there, and I know they still are doing takeout. So that's good, and their food's always really good. And good for theirs, you can order on their website, which is convenient. And like I said, we haven't been in there to pick up takeout during this new world we're living in, so I'm not sure what their pickup situation is. Because I know there you do have to walk through the seating area to the counter. So I don't know if that's still the case or if they've made different arrangements. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think Kimmy knows either because I feel like she might be getting it delivered.
That's right. I just remembered that. That's true. So yeah, I'm not really sure what the deal is there, but you can go pick up food. I'm just not sure what their system is like. So yeah. And then for just a couple, and this is more than this. It's just the ones that I've been like kind of paying attention to. In San Francisco, like I talked about Cybel's Front Room already. We went, they were like, you know what? They were like posting about their food and I was like, oh, I just want it. Like, why not? What else are we going to do? So we drive up there and get our food, and they actually had a curbside pickup. So you can go in and obviously like, we didn't go in, so I'm not sure exactly how it works, but you probably just go to the, counter and pay for your stuff and take it. But, actually they took the credit card over the phone, but, you can also do curbside pickup. So you just pull up in front, call, they bring your stuff out, you sign your receipt or whatever, and then you're off. And we ate in the car and came home. So, that was a seamless experience there. And they have a lot of great vegan options. They are not all vegan, but they have so many vegan options.
And it sounds like they're trying to get more. I talked to the daughter is the one who started doing all the vegan stuff. It's actually her parents' restaurant, and it sounds like they're starting to do more and more vegan. So hopefully one day they'll be 100%.
I mean, gosh, like that's all they promote, like, because they're all their news, like all their like cool new stuff is like vegan, and that's really what they push all the time. Like I don't ever recall seeing like non-vegan items on their Instagram. Like they're always pushing like their new vegan stuff. So yeah, I could see like it's becoming like a huge vegan hotspot, and it's gonna be like no one's ordering the meat anymore or the dairy or whatever. So yeah, I could see that happening. Mm-hmm. And then I haven't been here yet. Matt's kind of been threatening to go for a few weekends. And Next Level Burger is still doing takeout. I haven't been, but I did check their website and their Instagram that they were still serving. And again, like some places, so they have one in Concord and they have one in San Francisco, in California anyway. So those are your kind of your local-ish locations that you could double check that they were still doing takeout, because when this all kind of went down, some places they tried to do the takeout thing, and then they just decided it was safer or more economical or better or whatever reasons for their decision that they took to just close temporarily. Heyo did that. Shizen, I was like, ooh, go get takeout from Shizen. They did it for like 2 days and then they closed. So some places are really trying to go further. Like some of the other, not local, but some of the other, like Cleveland Vegan, which is a fave of mine in my hometown, they did takeout for quite a while. And they finally were like, okay, we're just going to close the door. So check all these before you go, because, you never know what's going on behind the scenes in a restaurant or if they no longer stay open. And one thing I want to mention, too, that I kind of forgot about, Merit and Happy Hooligans has a school lunch kind of program going on. So if you, I think it's, like, they have, like, the menu and stuff on their Instagrams, and I think it's 4 weekdays. I think maybe it's not Monday or something, but I think it's only 4 days. Each of them do 4 days or something. That if you bring in your like school ID, if you're elementary, junior high, high school, if you bring in your school ID, you can get a free, whatever that dish is for that day, you get it for free. So it could be like spaghetti or mac and cheese or whatever, burger, whatever they decide that they're going to serve that day. They just probably make it in mass, and then they can make it quickly, and they make it by a lot, and then they can get it out the door. So they're doing that for free for kids, because a lot of kids, the only meal, not the majority of kids, but many kids, the only meal that they're guaranteed throughout the day is the meal they get at school. And if they're not at school, they're not eating. So this is great to see these vegan businesses helping feed the kids that need to rely on a meal once a day at least.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I knew that Happy Hooligans was doing that, but I didn't actually know that Merit was doing it. And I think it's really important. I have a lot of teacher and principal friends who are still having to go into the school almost daily to hand out food, because it's true for a lot of kids who are on the free and reduced lunch program, that's kind of like where they're getting the majority of their meals.
Yeah, and I mean, I never went hungry, but I was on the free meal program in elementary school. So it's important to like make sure that they're getting food and everything. So so that's just like off the top of my head, like kind of where I've been eating or where I've checked in to see if they're still doing takeout. Like I said, double check. Like when this comes out, who knows what the world will be like even in 2 weeks. So just double check all these before. And yeah, because I was like, oh, Shizen's doing takeout. I would love to not have to wait outside and do all, to sit in and all that and just eat in the car and go home. Woohoo! That's like my kind of thing. But they only did it for 2 days and then they just gave up. They were like, yeah, forget it. So yeah, you never know.
Yeah. Those are all really good resources. Also, I wanted to mention that if anybody's in the Bay Area who doesn't feel comfortable going into places because they have low immunity systems, there's a couple people I saw on Instagram who are helping to deliver food. So if for some reason you're wanting to get food from a place that doesn't already work with one of the standard delivery companies, you could probably contact one of these people. So if you're listening to this and this sounds like something you might be interested in, just reach out to me on Instagram, me or Ashley, or our Dolls and Donuts account, and then we'll send you those accounts of the people who are delivering food.
Yeah, good tip. So you want to talk about groceries?
Yeah, so I've been obviously looking to find a lot of ingredients online since I can't go to the store that often, and well, I'm not going to the store that often. I understand that it's considered essential and that we're allowed to go to the store, but I'm really trying to limit the trips. And so I've been looking for a lot of resources online. So let's see. I started with putting a store on my website. I say I did this, but I think we all know that the tech support behind vegandollhouse.com is David. So he put a store on, and it basically is just kind of like an Amazon affiliate links. So for anyone who doesn't know what the Amazon affiliate program is, it basically just means that I link in all my recipes, I link to mostly ingredients, but every once in a while, like kitchen utensils or things like that I use to make the recipe. uh, it's kind of like a nice way of showing people, like having a visual that goes along with the thing, just so that you kind of can follow along, especially with the complicated recipes where I'm making really intricate things. And so what the store is just kind of like a collection of all of those different links. So it's like everything that I buy on Amazon for making all the recipes on my website, basically. So that's one resource that we've put together recently. And then the second one I put together was just stuff on Etsy. And so some of the things that includes, that's already live, so I can actually just look at that. And so what I like about it is that it's all vegan companies and that it's all small businesses. So these are people that are probably actually hurting a lot right now, just because they're not probably there. These are I would guess a lot of people who sell on Etsy it's a side hustle. They're probably also working other jobs that they might not be able to go to right now. So I think supporting these small vegan businesses is a nice thing to do. So I had a vegan cheese section where I found some cheeses and even a kit you can get to make your own cheese if you're like into trying something new because you're stuck at home, and why not? And it comes with everything. So I think that makes it a little less intimidating. I don't know. Does making cheese seem intimidating to you?
Yes, and I had no idea you could buy food on Etsy.
Perfect. Yeah, and you can get like a lot. There's a lot of sweets for sure, like cookies and stuff like that. There's vegan Oreo filled donuts. It's a little gluttonous. And so there's also staples, like you can get vegan mayo. A lot of the stuff I'm sure most people are able to find at their grocery stores, but I will be honest, I had some difficulty finding things at the grocery store. They were definitely out of a lot of stuff at the beginning of this month. I think things might be getting a little better now, but I'm not sure what it's like in the rest of the country.
I think like from when I'm talking to my family in Ohio, it seems that we've had it rougher as far as finding things. Obviously, you can't buy hand sanitizer and toilet paper anywhere, but like when the stay-at-home order first went down, you couldn't get anything. Like there was nothing in the stores. Like everything was gone. Now it's a little bit better, but I do go right in the morning, so I know whatever they do have is stocked. As best it hasn't been picked over all day. So I do go in the morning, but even like when I went the last time, I couldn't find dried chickpeas. I had to put canned in my curry because they didn't have any dried. They only had like one dried bean, and it was like totally not what I needed. There wasn't even like any substitutes. And this was on a Monday morning at 9:00. Like they had no dried beans at all.
Yeah, I'm experiencing that as well. I usually shop out of bulk bins, and since all bulk bins have to be closed because it's not really sanitary during these times, it makes it a lot harder to get like nooch. I'm almost out of nooch and I'm scared.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing and haven't looked for some because I'm good still. So, but yeah, there are some times I go and I'm thinking that we're gonna have stuff and there's not. But usually, like lately, I gotta pick a smart time to go if I want everything to be in stock or as close to stock as it's gonna be. So there's a little bit of strategizing that you have to go through it, so you don't have to jump everywhere, go to 15 different places, which you don't want to do to get just the groceries you need.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's nice that you have the luxury of choosing the time that works best for you. I think a lot of people don't have that. So yeah, so I found somebody who makes their own tofu. I found vegan kimchi, vegan mayo. So this is a blog post on vegandollhouse.com that you can check out with all Etsy links. And now the one that I'm working on, which will be published by the time this goes live, and we'll put a link to it in the show notes, is online stores that ship things. And I will go through the list because why not? And I already have it up since I've been working on it. So the majority of these, you should just assume these are all vegan stores, unless I say otherwise. There's only one that's not. So the first one's Vegan Republic. I'm sure everybody's heard us talk about this because this is our local vegan store located in Berkeley. And all of their proceeds go to helping the animals at Animal Place Sanctuary. So it's a really good place to support if you are going to be looking for a place online to support. And they have probably more of a limited supply of their stuff online. But Ashley, you wanted to mention for people who live in the Bay Area about how they're handling orders for people who can actually go pick it up, right?
Yeah, it's so I've been kind of following on their Instagram. Like I haven't went and picked anything up there. But oh, you know what? I also should mention that the Butcher's Son is also still open for takeout. I went there and it's right down the street, so I'll add that into the show notes as well. But anyway, Butcher's Son, Berkeley, you can eat there. Yeah, they've kind of been, definitely check their Instagram. They've kind of had to close to kind of like reassess how they're going to deal with the like picking up deliveries or sending them out, third parties to deliver or doing pickups and stuff. So they're kind of always kind of figuring it out and like doing new kind of processes and stuff. So definitely check their Instagram. But they were doing, I think Sarah got some stuff from pickup there, and they just basically, near the front of the store, they have like a table and they just have the different bags of whatever people ordered, and I think your names on it or something. We saw a picture of that on their Instagram. Like they just have like a big, regular brown paper bag, and then whatever you had picked is in there. So, but I do know sometimes they've had some growing pains with it, which is normal and everything. So just make sure you check their Instagram.
Yeah, and I would say that's probably the case with a lot of the places that are a lot of these small vegan stores we didn't have online shops before this happened. So I think that disclaimer that you just gave can probably go along with a lot of the people on my list also, because a lot of them are using the online shop for the first time, so there might be some kinks that they're working out too. So if you do end up going to the Vegan Republic online store, just keep that in mind if you're having any issues. I'm sure that the people there on the other end, if you want to send them an email, would be happy to help you. But yeah, just be patient with all these companies because they're probably all kind of learning as they go along. And so another one that I wanted to mention is Vegan Essentials. Most people already know about Vegan Essentials because they've always been an online store. So they have a lot of stuff. Their selection is really, really, really good. They're a little more pricey, but they have everything that you could imagine. They have the nutritional yeast I want. I was thinking about getting a giant amount of it, but it was like $100 with shipping. So I reconsidered. I might still go back. They also have a 10% off coupon if you sign up for their newsletter, so I might do that. Have you shopped on Vegan Essentials before?
I've definitely been on their website, but I can't remember if I've ever actually bought anything. I've definitely browsed.
Yeah, I think I used to buy white chocolate on there before I found it on Amazon. But anyway, yeah. So another one is Plant-Based Grocery that are a Dallas, Texas vegan store. And that is a full online store. They have a lot of good stuff. So you could check them out. And then we have a company in San Francisco that weirdly I've never been to. I'm kind of curious if you've ever been there, Ashley, called Green Taste Vegan Goods.
No, I've never even heard of it.
It's a vegan store in San Francisco, but it's in like a weird part of San Francisco that I feel like we never go to, which I think is probably why you haven't gone, which is definitely why I haven't gone. It's just kind of out of the way. It's not the area I'm in when I go to San Francisco. But the nice thing about them is they're really going out of their way to make sure that people are getting what they need. So they do have an online store. Which is, again, it's a limited version of what they're selling, I believe. But they're shipping if you let them know that you need something shipped. They're also delivering around the Bay Area, and their delivery fee is really affordable compared to a lot of these other companies. So I would check them out. What else? I made a list of meal kit services and pre-made meal services. I'm not going to explain each one because it's a long list. They're all vegan. There's Purple Carrot, Vistro, Veggin' Out, Vegan Garden, and Voice Mode. Those are the ones that I found that were all vegan. And these are more expensive because the meals are already made. So only Purple Carrot is a kit, which you're getting all the ingredients to make the meal yourself. All of the other companies are pre-made meals that they deliver to your house. I don't know if you've ever used any of the services.
No, I haven't.
Okay. I was thinking they might be good for someone like Kimmy, who's working in healthcare and working really long hours and working really hard. When she gets home, she doesn't want to cook, you know? So that could be useful for somebody in that situation. And then I listed a couple of vegan cheese stores. So there's one that I think is pronounced Rain, which is Reine, but I don't actually know. Her cheeses are all organic and they look delicious. And I'm putting a 20% off code in this list if you use this coupon code wellness. The shipping isn't cheap. That is the one thing about getting vegan cheese sent to you, is that they have to package it so that it stays cold. So the shipping is a little bit expensive. And then Riverdale, you've probably been there in New York, right?
Yes, I did go there.
So they've I don't know if they've always had an online shop or if they put it up because of this, but they have an online shop now. And so people can order online, which is kind of exciting because I don't think I've ever been to a store in my entire life that had a wider selection of vegan cheeses besides them. Have you?
That comes to mind.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. I think it would be a fun activity for somebody to participate in when they're trapped at home, and if it's the kind of person that's like us, where we're used to going out and going to a lot of like fun vegan events, I think it could be like maybe an alternative to that a little bit. Not really, but. And then the last place that I'm looking into, well, I also ordered chocolate chips from Pasha organic chocolates, but I had to order 10 pounds to get free shipping. It seemed very reasonable when I did it, but we'll see when the box comes how much 10 pounds of chocolate chips really is.
Oh my.
And so the last place that I put on the list is Thrive Market. Have you heard of and or investigated this at all?
I think I've only heard of it.
Okay, so what I know about Thrive Market, I mean, I did just sign up right before we started recording. So by the time this comes out, I'll have known a lot more, and I'll definitely update this list so that I'm giving everybody as much information as I am able to obtain. They're not all vegan. This is the only not all vegan thing on this list, but it's a membership based store. So you have to pay to become a member, which is why I've never joined before, because that is enough of a barrier for me right there that I'm like not interested. I was not interested and I just like left the website. But I don't know. Would that be a barrier for you, do you think?
It depends. I don't know enough about it to say yes or no. It would definitely they'd really have to like, knock my socks off for me to pay to be a member.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel too. So, one of the things I didn't like is that I wasn't able to really look at what they had. Like, I couldn't get past the page where they were like, you have to sign up if you want to get any deeper into our website. So, I couldn't even tell like how much vegan specialty stuff they had and how much cheaper it actually was. So, what they're saying is that you pay the membership fee of like $10 a month or whatever it is, and then everything is discounted. And so I wanted to know how much it's discounted. Is it going to make it worth it? They do give you a $20 food credit when you sign up. So technically, you're kind of making money by trying it out. But like in the long term, if I were to keep paying this as a monthly membership fee, like would it be worth it? That was what I wanted to know. And so I'm going to figure that out and I'm going to let everyone know.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to find out.
Yeah, so I'll keep you updated. I don't like that they're not all vegan, but also I'm just trying to find nutritional yeast. Is that too much to ask?
I guess so.
I guess so. That's the correct answer. It is too much to ask. What else have you got? Do you have other resources?
Put some general stuff here at the bottom. So if you're just like, if you're furloughed or laid off or whatever, and you're going groceries, but you're trying to keep it under control. This is a website that I've used in the past called Plant Based on a Budget, and basically is simple vegan meals, with reasonable, obviously making them on a budget. So it's stuff that's cost conscious, and also usually has like limited ingredients, which I definitely like. And it's like, stuff made by like real people. I think if they it's like a community, like they kind of different people like submit recipes to the website. So yeah, I think that'd be a good resource if you're especially strapped at this time and you're trying to still cook at home. So I think that's a good one. And then these two are just for maybe someone listening that needs this information. So I just put in the link for Second Harvest Food Bank of Silicon Valley for people that can't afford food. Like, food banks are really getting hammered right now, obviously. And obviously this is just for Silicon Valley, but you can always Google. Second Harvest is a national food bank, I believe. So you just have their different chapters around the country. So you could just Google food bank near me or anything like that if you're not in the Silicon Valley area. And then I also just included the herdalliance.org's crisis hotline. So it's just all the different hotlines that they offer. So because a lot of people are very upset right now, and they're going through a lot of crises. So whether that's financial, emotional, mental, physical, all those things. So yeah, I just wanted to include those links there in case somebody would find them helpful.
If anybody has any questions about anything we're talking about, also know that we also are going to very much populate the show notes with all of this stuff. So you can always check there if you missed anything. And if you have questions, you want to just reach out to us. We're always available on social media too. So it's time for Wag or Whimper, the segment where we talk about vegan products that we tried for the first time, and we tell you if it made us wag or whimper. What should we talk about first?
Okay, so I'm a big fan of tea. I have it almost every day. I usually use it for a comfort thing, and I also take tea for indigestion, kind of just like help my digestive tract and everything, kind of just like keep things healthy in there and all that. So I'm a big tea drinker, even like today when I didn't have any today because it was like 80 degrees, but it's usually on a day like that, I will still have tea. But I won't make iced tea like you said. I only like it hot. I'm like a weirdo that way. But tea is like a big thing all the time for me. And usually I do the bags, but I do miss the ritual of like loose leaf tea, because I have done that before, and I do like the ritual of putting, like, looking at the like leaves and the whatever, everything that's in the tea and all the dried stuff that's in there. I kind of missed that ritual of doing that. So our friends over at Sacred Blossom Tea Farm sent us different teas to try, and they were loose leaf, and I was like, ooh, I'm excited to get back into this, instead of just plopping a tea bag in there that you can't even see through and you can't see what's in there, because I do love the ritual of loose leaf tea. So so they sent us 3 different teas. Tiger, which was for focused energy, Angel was for common nourishment, and Dream for sleep and relaxation. And I tell you, they all look so beautiful. They all have like beautiful potpourri, which this is one of the ritual things that I like about that loose leaf tea, that you can actually like see it, and it's so pretty, and like the colors, and it's, I don't know, I like vintage stuff, so it kind of looks like dried Victorian flowers and stuff like that kind of look and aesthetic I'm into. So I want that when I'm making my tea. So these are like very pretty. I loved how they even just looked. And they also had a very distinct smell, even like when you're just smelling the tea leaves and everything. So we got to try those out. And I gotta tell you, I really, really liked Angel for the common nourishment. That was my favorite. And they even sent us a little, I don't know what you call it, a little steeper or whatever. Mm-hmm. Is that the right term? Okay. Yeah. Because I had like a kind of a crappy one. Like I said, I kind of got out of the habit of loose leaf tea. So I got to use that, and that was really nice. Kind of fit in all my mugs. Kind of just goes, right into your cup there. And that was like my favorite one. I really liked it. And I loved the smell of that tea, even like before you brew it. it had like, there was some, I'm really bad at identifying smells or scents. I'm like, I know what that is, but I can't place it. It was definitely in the mint spectrum somewhere. Spearmint, one of those was in there that was pretty dominant, and I really liked it. So yeah, it was good.
I definitely smell mint in the angel. You know what I like about the dream one is it has purple flowers in it.
Oh yeah, you definitely be up for that. They were so pretty. All of them were so pretty to look at. I'm just like, oh, I want a little dish to put these in out.
Well, I'm trying mine now because I made them just for this. I'm trying the dream first. I like that one.
Yeah, angel was definitely my favorite.
I can totally see why you like the angel. It does taste like mint.
Yeah, and like, of course, like when I smelled it, like that was the first. That was like the first sensory thing, was like the smell of mint. So that was really good.
I do want to say that I think I prefer them iced over hot. I know that you think that's blasphemy, and it's okay if you want to unfriend me based on this decision, but there, I've made it.
It's just a personal preference. So I didn't even try them. I didn't even try them iced because I'm just a hot tea person. So that's just like how I roll. But no, I don't judge you. So that's good. That's nice to know that they kind of translate, because I don't know if all teas do. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't. All teas don't translate, I don't think. I will also say that Izzy is a huge fan of these teas. Like, she is loving them. She's like, why is this so good? And I was like, I think it's fancy tea. And she was like, oh, I didn't realize there were different kinds.
So we say thank you to Sacred Blossom Farm for sending us these teas, and they are grown on their farm in Wisconsin. So they're kind of a small business, and it was really cool to try them out. I'm like down with the fancy tea now. I don't even want to go back to like bags I'm into the, like I said, like I'm back on the ritual of loose leaf tea. So it was a very cool like experience. So they were kind enough to give us a discount code. So if you want to check them out, obviously we'll put their link to their website in our show notes in the Waggle Whimper section. And if you want to get 15% off, you can use the code DOLLS15. So yeah, yay. The Sacred Blossom Farm Teas made us wag.
Okay, I'm going to do a wag or a whimper, and you're not going to know what it is.
Yeah, no, we kind of blow it sometimes, don't we?
Yeah, I know. It's terrible. Well, I actually will do a whimper this time since I already ruined it, but you're not going to know. So this isn't a product. I'm just going to talk about it because it's all over the damn internet and I feel like it. Whipped coffee. Let's talk about whipped coffee for a second. What do you know about it? I know you're not a coffee drinker, but you had to have seen it in your Instagram feed.
Yes, I've seen everyone make it, and I was asking Matt, because obviously he's the coffee person in the family. I'm like, have you seen this? Have you had this? Like, do you know anything about it? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, but I have seen everybody try it, and it's I've seen people being like, it's good. Either you love it or you hate it, and people are like, I don't know if I have it again. So I haven't seen people have a positive experience.
Okay, well, me either. Izzy has been making it every day, and so it's pretty. It's like aesthetically pleasing, and so I was like, of course I want to try it. It looks really nice, but it's just bitter. It's not like the coffee flavors that I like. It's like a bitter kind of coffee. So maybe people who would like, what is the Vietnamese coffee? That's kind of bitter too, right?
I don't know. I just know it makes you go hit the ceiling.
Oh no. Well, if you're looking for that out of whipped coffee, it might not be the same. But if you're into the taste of Vietnamese coffee, you might like whipped coffee because it does have a little bit of a bitter tinge to it that I'm not a fan of. So even though the rest of the world is really into whipped coffee right now, it made me whimper.
Okay. So maybe I'll just go. Yeah, I guess we'll just bounce back and forth.
Yeah,
okay, so while I was in Ohio, when I was helping care for my dad, like I said on previous podcasts, I wasn't really eating out a ton. I didn't try many new places. I was just going to Giant Eagle, getting my groceries and, shopping and stuff because he needed care. So I was home a lot with him. But I did get to try the coconut yogurts by Yoplait. So these were the vegan, they have several vegan flavors, others that are not. But they had, I think there was a third vegan flavor that I didn't try. But I tried the raspberry and vanilla, and they're really cute. They have like the typical Yoplait top, like the little foil top that you pull back, but the case is, or like the actual container is glass. So that was nice. It kind of makes it look fancier. Obviously, it's better. You know, you can reuse it, you can recycle it, whatever. And so I tried the raspberry and the vanilla, and both were delicious, honestly. Like the vanilla tasted like, cause you know there's like a spectrum of vanilla, like real shitty vanilla, and then there's like ooh vanilla bean. You know what I mean? And this was definitely on the spectrum of like ooh vanilla. I really liked it. And of course I love raspberry anything, so I was like, I gotta try the raspberry, and that was very posh as well. So I was very happy with them, and I got them both. I got them both at the same time. I was like, I'm going for broke. I'm either gonna love these or I'm gonna hate them, and I got two. So yeah, I was really happy with them. So the wee coconut yogurt by Yoplait made me wag.
Oh, okay. I have follow-up questions. One is, I remember Yoplait from when I was a little kid because my dad bought it, and it had the fruit like on the bottom, and you had to stir it in. Was it like that? The raspberry
Yeah,
one?
I believe so.
Okay, and follow-up question to that, were there like raspberry seeds that would get stuck in your teeth or no?
I don't think so. No, it was pretty smooth. There wasn't like chunks of raspberries or anything or seeds. Not that I recall.
Okay, I like that. And I'm also with you on the vanilla thing. I love vanilla yogurt. Besides lemon, it's like my favorite yogurt flavor, and I love it when you can just see pieces of the vanilla bean in there. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, vanilla can be done really shitty and it can be done really well. It's a big spectrum. So I did like the vanilla in this.
Nice. Okay, cool. Oh, you're not going to know the answer to this question because I know you don't look at prices, but do you remember how much it was?
And this was months ago as well. So, but I do remember being like, oh, that's cheaper than I thought.
Oh, ooh, I like that. Okay.
On sale as like a promotional, like a new product, like buy it, it's new, and it's And I also bought it in Ohio, where everything is a lot cheaper. So keep all these in mind.
Okay. I'm keeping them in mind. I'm still going to keep my eyes out for it. Okay, cool. I'm glad you tried it because ever since seeing the beautiful packaging, I've been curious. Okay, I have one. So a bacon company reached out to me called Hooray Foods, and I went to their website, and all they do is bacon. At least that's all I can tell, because when you go to their landing page, it's just a bacon picture. So they sent me some of their yeah, I'm just gonna go out on a limb here and guess that that's like their main thing. So I cooked it up tonight because I had waited and realized that we were about to record, and so this is my feedback on it. It sizzles like real bacon. It's so weird. It looks just like real bacon, like probably closer than any actual bacon I've seen to date besides Leona. And so it's sizzling, it looks like bacon, and then it fries up crispy, which I really like because all of the other vegan bacons that I buy do not fry up crispy. Not as crispy as I want it to be. So those are the things that I really liked about it. And then when I tasted it, it tasted like coconut. Wah, wah. So
And yeah, they looks like they maybe focused too much on the aesthetic.
yeah, they did great on the aesthetic. I was like so sold while I was making it. But I have to be honest, the taste of it made me whimper. Sorry, Hooray Foods. It's not for everyone. Maybe if you're really into the coconut bacons that they sell in the packaging, you would like it. But it just tasted like someone took a chunk of coconut and put some hickory smoke on it. And that's not bacon, I'm sorry. Unfortunately. So yeah, they asked me to give them feedback too, and I feel really bad. But there it is. We're honest here on Dolls and Donuts. We don't sugarcoat things. Sorry. Do you have any more? I have another one. Okay. I also didn't include all of the things that I tried, just so that I wouldn't have to hog the whole time. So I'll end this now after this last one. So do you know that Van Leeuwen of New York now sells their vegan ice cream in pints all over the country?
Did I know that? I
Did
think
you?
it doesn't surprise me, so I think I probably did know that.
Okay, good. I recently learned it right before the quarantine started. It was actually my very last trip to the store. Kimmy and I went to the store one night because I couldn't get anybody at my house to go with me, and I really wanted the ice cream. Sprouts was the only store that I knew for sure had it. And so I was like, "Do you want to go to Sprouts with me?" And she was like, "Sure." And I was like, "I love her because she's just always down for whatever." So we went to Sprouts, and I, of course, bought one of every single flavor they had. So I got 5 pints of ice cream like a glutton. She got one like a normal human. And then I proceeded to taste them all when we got home, and they're so good. Van Leeuwen ice cream is the only like pints of ice cream that I feel like tastes like homemade ice cream, like the homemade ice cream I make. Like they're just delicious. I think my favorite flavor was the mocha fudge latte, something like that. Um, but because some people aren't into coffee, I think the second best flavor was, this is really weird, but it was like chocolate with honeycomb, it said.
Oh,
Obviously,
Matt
it's
had
not
their when we
honeycomb.
went to the LA store, we ate in there. Matt had the honeycomb, the vegan honeycomb, and it was delicious.
Yes, it is, right? I would never think that honeycomb would be delicious because I've had actual honeycomb before and it's fucking disgusting.
Well, Matt had said like when he was growing up, he liked it, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna try it." And I was like, "Oh, I doesn't seem. I mean, it didn't sound gross to me, but I just wasn't interested." And I tried his, and I was like, "Damn, that is good."
So good. They're so good. Anyway, so yeah, I can't wait till the quarantine shelter in place thing is over and I can go back to Sprouts and get more. So Van Leeuwen ice cream made me wag.
Nice, nicely done.
By the time this comes out, it's going to be my birthday month. So please send me messages because I'm going to be real sad if I have to stay home on my birthday. And I probably am going to have to stay home on my birthday.
Yeah, I was gonna
So
say that's probably likely.
yeah, so send me some love. I'm gonna need it. I'm Vegan Dollhouse everywhere on the internet, so find me and tell me happy things. Send me pictures of your dogs, things like that. And I guess that's the end of episode 54. And we're on all the places: Stitcher, iTunes, YouTube, Breaker, Podbean, Spotify, Google. Tell us if you want to hear us somewhere else, and we'll try to make it happen. And you can find Ashley on the internet. She's Ashley the Vegan on Instagram, and she blogs at theveganadventure.com. And you can find my blog at vegandollhouse.com. All the recipes that I talked about are on vegandollhouse.com. And we also have a website for our podcast. It is dollsanddonuts.com, where you can listen to the latest episode, and you can also find links to all our social media there.
Hang in there, everybody.
Hang in there. Remember, we love you, and thanks for listening.
Yep. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Dolls and donuts, dolls and donuts. We are two dolls. We like animals. As a bonus, we eat donuts.